If you're looking to get a DAC amp combo for your audiophile headphones, then iFi Zen DAC series has been one of the most recommended options, and today we have their new Zen DAC 3 version, which not only looks amazing but also has a more refined overall set of features. So let's check out what makes it so special. Inside the box, you get an easy to understand manual, an iFi sticker, a pair of RCA cables, a USB A to C cable, a 6.3mm to 3.5mm adapter, and finally the DAC itself. The Zen DAC 1 and 2 were not bad looking devices by any means, but this new version just looks so amazing and classy. It also feels very well built in hand, and I like its unique shape. We have some really nice brass colored accents on the front with brushed metal and leather textures, and this volume knob just looks and feels so amazing. I feel like operating it even when I don't want to change the volume. The colored ring behind it changes color according to the quality of the signal that this DAC is receiving, so you can be sure about actually getting that high-res experience. The Zen DAC 3 has a switch on its back that lets you disable the volume knob, so if you want to control the volume with some other device, this will have fixed output regardless of its position. The special thing about the Zen DAC 3 is that it offers you a balanced output at its front and at its back, and this just makes it so versatile because if you have a high-end headphone with a balanced cable, you'll have access to 390 mW of power, and the 6.3mm single-ended output also provides 210 mW of power, which is sufficient to drive most headphones. The balanced output at rear can also be extremely useful because you can use it to connect it to some high-end studio monitors, or if you get a balanced headphone amplifier, you can also use that with this DAC. We do have simple unbalanced RCA outputs to connect it with all kinds of speakers or amplifiers. This button on its front enables Xbass Plus, which is another signature iFi feature that gives your headphones a very natural bass boost because it does its work in the analog domain instead of boosting the bass digitally. It can sound really great on open back headphones or headphones that are a bit lacking when it comes to their low end. Another useful feature is what iFi calls Power Match, but I think that is just a fancy name for a low end high gain switch. You can keep it disabled when using with IEM so you don't damage them with its full power, and when you do need that full power, you can power match it and feel better than the people who are just using boring gain switches. Now, one confusing thing about this was its power delivery, because iFi offers you an external power input here, but they don't supply an adapter with it, which can make things a bit confusing. The Zen DAC 3 can get all the power it needs from its USB-C input alone, but this means that your cable is going to be transmitting data and power at the same time, which can create some issues with the quality of the signal in some cases. When you use the external power adapter, the USB cable is just going to transmit data, so you are going to get a cleaner signal, and iFi also makes some fancy power supplies that you can use to get the maximum audiophile advantage. Now, all of this is kind of theoretical and you don't really need the external power supply because the audible difference may be barely noticeable, but it can be useful in cases where the signal source is not able to supply enough power or if there are some other issues. It's actually nice to have the option so you can experiment and see if you find it to be helpful. Having USB-C connectivity makes this quite versatile when it comes to device selection, as you can just use your phone or laptop and get high quality audio, and this port also comes with over voltage protection to prevent any accidents that may happen. It's really nice how you can use any of your devices to drive powerful headphones, but I do wish that we also had coaxial or optical inputs here just so we could connect this to even more types of devices. The Zen DAC 3 comes with the typical Burr Brown DAC chips that iFi uses in their premium stuff. For example, with the iFi Uno, you get an ESS chip, while we have a Burr Brown chip here paired with a 16-core XMOS chip that processes the received audio data. It can support extremely high resolutions like 768 kHz on PCM and DSD512, along with supporting proper MQA decoding. Now, I am personally happy with just uncompressed FLAC files, but if you are into these extremely high-end formats, you can use them and see if you can hear a difference. Comparing the sound qualities of DACs isn't easy, and when you go to a level like this, it will take something really high-end to make you hear a significant difference. For example, if I compare the sound of this and my RMA EDI2 Pro, the difference is audible, but you may have to be told what to hear for, otherwise you may not be able to easily identify which DAC costs 9 times more. The RMA does have features that justify its price, but DAC amps like this have gotten so good that they are all that most people should need. The Zen DAC 3 of course sounds really great. There is very good definition in instruments and the soundstage is nice, and just the DAC part of it also sounded very good with my Adam A5XS. I will try to make a video about the subtle differences between DACs at different levels because it is a complicated topic, but this is a very good middle point between the entry-level stuff and the high-end stuff. The single-ended output was easily able to drive my planar magnetic HE4XX very well, and I also had great results with even the sensitive IEMs I own like the SIMGOT EA1000 and Kiwi Ears Quintet. I tried the 4.4mm balanced out with my head audio headphone, and this was actually able to drive it quite well. Now these headphones are recommended to be driven by something that can supply at least 1000 mW of power, so even though I was able to get proper volume using the Zen DAC 3 and these were quite good to listen to, you will need something like the Zen Can paired with this to get even better sound quality out of something like this. You can just use a single 4.4mm balanced cable to connect the Zen DAC to the Zen Can and get a Zen stack that can basically power anything with great quality. So the Zen DAC 3 follows up on the iFi Zen DAC series very well. It is still the package that can be very easily recommended to beginner and intermediate audiophiles, but I think at $230, we are beginning to move away from calling it a budget DAC. At 22,000 rupees in India, this is definitely a substantial investment. You may be able to find something from Chinese brands that deliver more power, but the Zen DAC 3 definitely has a refinement that is not easy to find. I'll have the links to check this out in the video description. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.